For this project, we used 2 sheets of 3/4 inch MDF. I cut the first sheet down to the size I want each door panel to be, in this case 20 inches wide and 82 inches long. We chose to go with MDF for this project because they will be painted a solid color, and if you've ever worked with MDF, you know that not only does it cut really well, it also paints really well. Then I cut the second sheet down into 9-inch strips. These will be used to make the design that goes over top of the door. After that, I take a minute to draw out a general idea of what kind of design I want the door to have. It's not exact, but it gives me an idea of what the doors will look like and allows me to make any changes to the design if I need to as well. Once I'm happy with that, I begin cutting the pieces down and securing them to the doors. But I don't use wood glue just yet because I plan on popping them off and doing one more design detail. So once everything looks good, I use a putty knife to begin popping these things off. He hurt himself. Now, a little trick to remove the brad nails that are sticking up is you just grab it, start wiggling it back and forth, and eventually it will snap off nice and flush, or you can just use wire cutters to do the same thing. Now, the reason I pop them all off is because I want to run each design piece through my router and give it this 45-degree chamfered edge. It's a small design detail, but it makes a noticeable difference. Once all the pieces have been ran through the router, it's time to attach them permanently using wood glue and more brad nails. I use 1/8-inch spacers to make sure that the pieces are nice and even. Oh, he's being creepy again. After that, I run my trim router using a flush trim bit around the outside edges of the door to make sure that the top and bottom layer are flush. Ew, gross. MDF dust. As you can see, it gives you a nice flush edge. For the next step, I went through and attached a border to the outside and the top and bottom of the door. And it looked like this. Once those are attached, I went through and filled all of the seams and nail holes using spackle. I prefer to use spackle, but you can easily use wood filler as well. Once it dried, I went through with my palm sander and made sure everything was nice and smooth. The final step was to use my trim router again, but this time using a 45-degree chamfer bit around the outside edges and the top and bottom of the door to give it this little design detail. These doors are almost ready for paint. But first I want to go ahead and mark and drill all of the holes for the mounting hardware as well as the handles. You want to do this before you paint, because if you do this after you paint, you end up making a mess of your paint job. And when life gives you dust, blow it. Looks good. The doors are finally ready to paint. We chose to go with Naval by Sherwin-Williams. Using my paint sprayer, I start by getting all the outside edges and corners, and then using an overlapping pattern, I go in one direction and then the other direction. Once the doors have dried, I go back through with a sanding block to smooth the surface of the doors, getting rid of any unwanted texture or paint drips that may have occurred. It leaves you with a nice smooth surface, but this ugly paint job. I finished the paint job by diluting the paint and giving it one more wet coat. We wanted gold handles for these doors, but gold handles were a lot more expensive than black handles on Amazon for some reason, so using a $4 can of spray paint, we made our own. Once the doors are dry, I go ahead and install the mounting hardware, making sure they are perfectly square and even. This is our original bathroom barn door. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just a plain door when we were wanting something a little more custom. Plus it has these screws popping out from each side, and the handle on the inside bumps into the door frame, leaving marks. So I removed the door, removed the bottom door guide, removed the door rail, and finally remove the header board that was secured by brad nails. Then using tape and a stud finder, I mark where all the studs are over top. And then after centering the header board, I attach it using 3-inch washer head screws. Once everything's attached, I go back through with spackle and fill all of the original nail holes and screw holes. Oh, look at that! I hit a water line. If this happens to you, just follow these steps. First, panic. Then, shut the water off, remove the header board, cut open the drywall, repair the damaged pipe, turn the water back on, repair the drywall, and reinstall the header board. Whew. Then you are good to go installing the new guide rail using a level to make sure that it is level. Oh, and watch out for water lines. It's also a good idea to install those rubber door stops right in the middle of the guide rail as well. And don't forget to install the outer door stop so that your doors don't roll off the outer edge of the rail. Then I attach the floor guides to each side of the door frame. These stop the doors from swaying inwards and hitting the wall, or swaying outwards and possibly falling off your track. was finally time to install the handles. And you are done. But the doors are all smudged up from installing them, so using a wet rag I go through and wipe it down. Oh, what a creep. And here are the back side of the doors in case you were wondering, and here is the big reveal. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please click the like button down below. And if you want to see more videos just like this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel as well, because I have a ton of projects coming up that you don't want to miss out on. If you know anybody that you think might want to watch this video, please share away. And if you have any questions whatsoever about what you saw in this video, drop it in the comments below. Thanks. Till next time.